Welcome back to Inside YKTR, hosting the two boys here on my show, my favourite show here at YKTR. And this is brought to you by Kelly Partners, Isaac.
Best accounting firm in Sydney, no doubt. Go ahead, Danny. I'm going to put the details down below. Coming up to tax time too, so pretty interesting time. We'll be writing off a lot of things, so make sure you know what you're doing and you can save a fuckload of money. So head up Kelly Partners.
It was the first port of call before we booked this studio, actually. Kelly Partners call.
So I'm tight with Danny, so I always go back and forth. Like whenever I want to hire someone, whenever I just make sure I got money and make sure I can afford it and make sure I'm paying my taxes. Very important.
You think Simi's a numbers guy? Danny's a numbers guy.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Inside YKT, obviously we got a lot going on here at the office, which we'll touch on. But the Magic Round, the boys are off. Well, the boys including Lukey. I say the boys usually when I'm talking about Simi and Scope, but all the boys are off. Earn themselves a trip away. What's it going to look like, man?
So they're going to be popping up at the Caxton Friday. We've got, obviously, if you guys have seen the Shark Tank episode, we've got the serious meeting tomorrow where I sit the boys down and say this is how it's going to go, because at the end of the day it is a business trip and they are representing the brand, and sometimes when you're on the person stuff you start to forget about that. So that's going to be the most important part, that it is a business trip and everything that you do is a reflection on this brand and it's a reflection on me. So if you fuck up, it's going to be on me, and just don't fuck up. That's basically the rule.
Talking to you through me then.
So I'm just listening.
Yeah, and I've sent Lukey away with them as well, because obviously really trust Lukey. Chico's going to go away as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's one of those, it's a trust exercise, it's a branding exercise. It could be really, really great or really, really bad. So it can go either way. But I'm obviously going to treat the boys like adults, so you can do what you want, but yeah, don't fuck up.
It's just a great opportunity for us to leverage off. Like, we haven't been able to do this. This is something that we'd say we wanted to do when I first sort of came in. Like, we want to be out there, we want to be on the ground, Magic Round, around the grounds and whatnot. So Magic Round is literally the perfect opportunity to do that. It's literally a festival of football. So if you're up there, come say hello, and it's going to be a good weekend. Yeah,
and the boys going to be doing, so they're going to be at X-Cargo on the Saturday night as well. So we've blocked out this whole area. You can go up, skip the line and go up and see the boys as well. So it's like there's a bit of thought behind it, a bit of marketing as well. So in terms of business, I'm really excited for this business side of it as well. So should be good. And the boys are keen as.
We keep saying for ages we want to do events. Like, we're slowly dabbling into it with the SPC party a few months ago.
Yep.
Now events like this. It's sort of like little baby steps towards where we want to get to at that event level.
Where's the boat party, man?
Yeah, it's coming. Boat parties are coming. Events are coming. So we want to be that brand that gives the most back. So, and that's an important part. Like, I don't want to always be a negative media for YKTR. We've been there in the past with individually, but also a reflection of the brand. But I feel like we're a brand that can do a lot of positive in the world and not just throw mad parties and shit, like give back. And I just don't want anyone to fuck that up.
Yeah, you mentioned there's like a business model behind that, and obviously the boys' merch is going to be a part of that. I know they had a bit of we had a bit of fun with them sort of designing it with all the Shark Tank stuff, but it actually turned out pretty mad.
Yep. It's got to make sense from a business standpoint as well. Like, branding's important, but we've got brand, and that community touch point's important. So this is the next phase of it, but it has to make sort of make business sense as well. And you sort of seen Jake Paul, the way they sort of operate, like stole Floyd Mayweather's hat, and then within seconds they've got your hats ready for sale. And the Now Boys, Kyle gets arrested, the one that's happened to us, but then next day he's got his mugshot on the shirt. So that style of, where it's fun style of merch that Complex used, Barstool used. Me and Lukey have paid attention to that business model for 2 years now. Like, we've been listening to the podcast for this for ages. Erica Nardini, she talks about this a lot. So Barstool, a third of theirs ad revenue, but most of their money comes from merch. And we want to do that, but just do it in our own unique way that's inspired by those types of brands.
And it's about like building it's a way that you build community with us. Like, if you go out and you see someone wearing the SPC multi-bet slip tee, it's like, oh yeah, that guy's mad, he's in the punters club. Like,
yeah, it's just sort of that like social like recognition of like, oh yeah, he knows what's up. And I've always said, like, our clothes are never going to be super technical or anything. Like, we're a basic brand, but we feel like our content's a little bit more than elite than anyone around us in this space right now. So it's more so a uniform for the people that fuck with our content, and it's just one of those little nod of approvals in the social aspect. So that's what we're trying to build there.
100%.
Are you looking forward to being Lukey, the man manager? There's a lot of responsibility. To be honest, like, I was jealous when I was like, the boys going to Magic Round at start.
Fuck,
given
man.
how now I'm actually nervous for you, bro.
No, I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't say you wouldn't have to manage.
You've managed people before though, but it's not like they should be sweet, right?
Yeah, like, as long as we're getting the content and I'm the first person to pull up someone and say, hey, like, come on, we need this for the vlog or we need this for that. And the boys know that. So
Chico's sort of there for that reason as well.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want you to be sort of I just need you to make content and not worry about managing people.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've been around the boys, and Simi's the one they got to, he's not listening.
Yeah.
He's not listening.
But yeah, he knows that I'll pull him up if he needs to.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, like, the reason you're there is so you're a fucking pair of eyes for me. So I'll be giving you a call every morning.
Here we go.
But we take the piss out of them. We talk about them like this, but they're going because they're good at what they do, and the content's going to be fucking on point. If they nail it, yeah, they call themselves Footy's Hamish and Andy, and I think they actually could be sort of the answer to that. Like, they're very good at what they do, especially Scope when it comes to like the on-camera stuff and the content. Like, even when we were just fucking around with the green screen yesterday, like he's so good with that sort of stuff, man.
Yeah, and they're getting better and better, but then I also think they also think that they're a lot better than what they actually are, because they're very ideas based. So they'll be like, oh, this is my idea. Like, all right, cool, we've already thought of that, but yeah, cool, you can have that. So they value so much on ideas that they forget about execution as well. So just trying to get that marriage of both. But Hamish and Andy, good example. You look at someone like, say, Matty Johns, like he brought on Brian Fletcher, like those two guys that are more like comedy based, and that's what their job is. But say like a year from now and we start to scale out, they're just going to be like two of the personalities. Right now we're very like Scope and semi-centric, and obviously there's a little bit between us. But if we want to scale this thing out a lot more, which I do want to do, there's going to be like more personalities come under. So that's what I mean. So their ideas are cool right now because we've got a team that can execute those ideas. But once we've got another 3 people underneath us as well, they kind of become one of 5 or 2 of the other 3 as well. So, and that's when it becomes a lot more important, where they're like, oh, cool, here's my idea, but here's the execution, and this is what I need from you to do it, to execute it. So that's the sort of next phase we're rolling into.
And I think, like, because our content, for example, like the YouTube content, the podcast content, it is diversifying. Like, we're putting up like a food review, then we'll put up like a semi-serious footy chat. It's like, you got to come to YKTR. We're not expecting you to watch every single piece of content. You might not fuck with the food review. You might not fuck with the footy content. You might like the bit inside YKTR might not be your cup of tea, but there's so many different options for people to come and watch. So some people they'll comment on like Simi's podcast, like Brush Simi, and it's like, well, don't watch that then. Like, we're not forcing you to watch anything. It's just you come, you might like Simi, you might not like Simi, you might not like Scope, blah, blah, blah. But we're you don't watch everything that Channel 10 puts on, you know what I mean?
I think that's what like you were alluding to before, when like the plan is for them to be 2 of X. Like we have a punting guy, we have someone who nails that female demographic. Like, the talent should be diversified. So Simi's our relationship guy, which is hilarious to say. Scope's our footy guy with a bit of the punting stuff in there. You're our business guy. Lukey's our design guy. I don't know what the fuck I do, but like, you know what I mean? Like
vintage guy,
you know what I mean?
But this is like, but this is strategy, and people just think we're just fucking making up content for the sake of making up content. But like, I've thought this shit out. Like, and like you said, you covered all the bases. Like, I want to cover all the bases, and I knew that pretty early on because a lot of the content was always around me. Like, I'll do all the podcasts, I'll do all the footy, I'll do all the business chat, I'll be in all the vlogs. And I'm like, fucking, I was editing them all as well, and even I was getting sick of my own voice. So I knew that we needed to scale it out. And like you said, we pay attention to a lot of things, and not just content, but the business behind. Like, now, boys, like, Kyle's the man to me. Like, I think he's the man. But then Steve will do it's the funny guy that everyone watches. And do you know what I mean? So there's within every cool organization structure, there's different personalities, but we've just got the platform to shine those different personalities. And like, a lot of people go like, oh, Scope should go off and do his own thing. And like, yeah, cool. Like, I'll give him the platform, we'll gas him up, and he can go do his own thing. Like, I don't own anyone's IP here. And people say, you should own the IP because you're building the boys up. And like, oh, Simi should go do his own. They can go do that, but they just got to realize that YKTR is the opportunity for them to grow. Like, who gave Scope a chance before? Like, if he rocked up to Fox Sports and go, hey, can I get a
NFL podcast?
Yeah,
they're just going to say no.
Given his early punting track record, it probably wouldn't have lasted.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. So people forget about the opportunity that YKTR has given them in that standpoint. I'm sure they don't. Like, this is not a reflection on them, but more so just outside. They're like, all right, we need more Simi shows. All right, cool, we're going to get you more Simi shows. Just relax. Like, give us time. Like, we're building this out.
And I think it's important to acknowledge in that, like, there's some people that don't know the backstory of everything that have come on board because of the new types of content we've put out. So they don't always know the backstory. So you like, when people are commenting, you never know the context of it. So it's not something you can read into.
Yeah, that's true. And then Scope's role was to look after football. Like, his role was to go like, all right, well, you're going to do footy companion, but I want you to be interviewing football players as well. Like, that's going to be your role. Like, I don't really want to be interviewing football players anymore. But in saying that, like, I was thinking like I think all three of us, because footy content's obviously relevant in our demographic. Like, why aren't all three of us? Or you can interview footy players as well now. Like, why can't all three of us do it at the same time? And then it's like a triple punch. It's like punches and bunches. So there's something that's more inclined to hit. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking about now. And I like to go like a little bit deeper. So obviously with my podcast, I'll be I'm like, why? Like, oh fuck, I actually want to know why. And so I think Scope's going to be like the fun multiple person type podcast where very 10 and akin but drag that into a thing. But if we get a deep one, fuck, I'm going all in on those ones.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's research and it's diving and it's asking the questions, and hopefully I make them comfortable that they open up. So that's the next part we're going to get to.
Very much like the Sonny Bill, not the Sonny Bill, the Quade Cooper and Artie Surveyor potties.
Yeah, those ones.
Real long form where it gets deep and they really open up and people are like, oh shit.
Are we getting RTS on? Is that?
Yeah, I think them going into the bubble sort of threw that in. So we were having a look at early this week. But he'll do it. Yeah, I'm confident he'll do it.
Yeah, cool.
So
I'll take that.
That's one of those ones where, like, when we started and we were we are fan to player, player to fan. Just the way that the business has sort of gone like that, we're going to be coming back to that. Like,
agree.
We wanna be more sports focused, but it's got to be the right people in the right places doing it. So your lane is that sort of real rich, deep, long form content. Scope's going to be the sort of
easygoing,
fun content that you can listen to on your drive home. And then the blog's the space for the boys we can write about what they eat, what they wear, what they listen to,
and
cover all our bases.
Them two boys could be bigger than anyone here, because the thing is with, like, say, I'll talk about business. So if I had a room of 100 people, I was like, who wants to learn about business? Like, maybe 20 people will put their hand up, you know what I mean? But if I went into a room of 100 people, like, who wants to laugh? Yeah. Like, everyone's just going to go like that. So entertainment's always a great form of content, and those two do it really, really well. So it's like, how do we make these two boys as big as possible? But they help us and we'll help them as well, or I'll help them.
This could be a very positive outside YKTR rebuttal this week, I think.
Yeah, shout out to the boys.
Shout out to the boys. You've stolen my transition there, Ice, because you've rolled straight into the increase of staff. We've gone very quickly from,
this has been
sitting on the bench.
It was just
you two sitting on a bench over there when I first came over, and there was a bike by the couch, and we've gone all of a sudden to 3 full-time staff. Obviously got Natasha as well overseas. You've got Scope here on a part-time. You've got an intern in the building, and we have a Simi as well. So seems to have happened.
Yeah, can we call him Simi the intern as well, just to rattle him?
That'll hurt him, eh?
Hey.
Bro, it's been crazy. And like, I watched that vlog back yesterday of me, and I'm just sitting in my like bedroom. And bro, like, at the time, like, literally,
how hoary was the accent as well?
Yeah, it was a little bit rough, eh? I don't know why. Probably spent so much time on my own. But like those times said, like, I had like $50 to my name for like 10 days. Like, that was as real comes. And I've got people coming in and go, oh, like, I should, like, Simi's going, oh, everyone's going, he should be on the payroll now. I'm like, I've done my time. You guys have all done your time. Scope's done his time. So I don't really sympathise with those situations. But in saying that, it has happened so quick. Like, even now, like, I'm looking at getting another office space within this building that's just going to be alone and in meeting rooms, because it's a fucking jungle in here at the moment, and it's good, it's fun.
Literally.
It's a mad vibe. Like, the boys come in, and like, we'll talk about a little bit structure a little bit later with Scope and that, but it is fun to be around. And obviously got that intern Caleb comes in as well, and Natasha's there as well. So, man, it's a position I've never been in before, but obviously grateful to be here, but I'm still trying to figure it out at the same time.
What about you, bro? Because you obviously came from the professional working world to just you and Ice for 18 months, and you and I talking on the phone, crying to each other, and now now it's almost like a half full office again.
Yeah, it's not rattling, but it's like I need to find that focus in the chaos, because I think I got so comfortable with just being able to just sit there and do me.
Yeah.
So it's about I think time blocking is going to be more important than ever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there, even with the boys there, trying to put my headphones on, designing the stuff or whatever's in front of me.
I'm going like this.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm going to get that other office anyway. So say I'm like, bro, Luke, I need you for this 4 hours. Let's go up here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I need to adapt with, and because the boys are in there, and like, Simi's always content, like, regardless if he's on camera or off camera, everything he's doing, there's a punchline. He's like building towards something when he's having a conversation with you, which is fun. You don't want to not be around it, but it's like, bro, just let me fucking. Or he sends me a message this morning. He sends me Kempy's post from him being at the Caxton. I'm like, literally, that's what we were talking about yesterday. We're waiting for the merch to come in. And then we'll promote where we're going up on Magic Round. He's just always like, promote. him. And it's like, there's, as I said in that vlog, it says YKTR there. It doesn't say SIMI.
Yeah. And that's like, he's always got ideas and he's always thinking, he always wants to be better. And like, he's in a really good spot right now. Like, I've got nothing bad to say about. I've obviously criticised him on this podcast plenty.
I think he understands and he's adapting to like the structures of making content more. And like we spoke about with like putting his podcast in blocks, and it's going to be like, if we can then focus on that. I was even thinking today, like we literally, like for example, I'll go back to my old career, I would submit a loan application and I'd literally have like a physical checklist pretty much. So I was even thinking that would make sense for our podcast to have like to block, and then at the end of the podcast, have we taken a thumbnail? Have we taken this? Have we taken that? Just to get the systems in, and then you can, once they're in play, then we can take away that sort of checklist later. So that's like the way that I'm thinking to try and...
No, that's the way it's just got to be. It's just got to be like, these boys have got a list, but this is what you got to do if you want to work it. Like even Scope the other day, it's like first couple... I always let the boys try and figure it out in the first 2 weeks, and if it isn't where I want it to be, all right, fuck, let's fucking tighten the screws up, and this is how it's going to be.
That's what you did with me as well.
Yeah. Let you learn. All right, cool, that's enough. Like, let's go, let's get to work. So, it's, and like I said, bro, Simi's been really, really good lately. He had his kids down on the weekend, which like big motivation thing for him. He goes, oh bro, this is probably like the happiest I've been in a long time. So man, as great as Simi is on content, and like behind there he's got a really big heart, so you do want to help those kind of guys find his feed and succeed. So I think we can.
I'm still in the honeymoon phase with Simi.
Yeah, everyone, a lot of people are.
You're in the 3 a.m. text messages.
He's like this to me now, like whoosh.
I still love it.
The old mute button on WhatsApp helps sometimes.
Yeah. You kind of mentioned with the boys coming in the office and the office across there potentially as well. This place has expanded pretty quickly. We've got ourselves a pretty little living wall over there. We've got the green screen, which was a lot of fun yesterday. And furniture. We've got the chairs. These won't be our chairs. Chairs here on Friday. Sofa here on Friday. New podcast chairs coming next week as well. So the whole space is changing pretty quick. Oh, and we got the new desks as well.
Yeah,
the old Simi and Intern desk over there.
We're a content house now, so I want the environment to be cool to set up for content. And that green screen and the blazers and stuff yesterday, that is fucking straight up ripped off of Crowd Goes Wild, which is a show in New Zealand. When I first started YKTR Sports, I got like, I kind of want to be like Batuta Advocate. It's weird because we're mates with those guys now. Complex, and the other side of it was always Crowd Goes Wild, because that's my favourite show. And I always thought Charlie Gubb and Jello, Anthony Gelling, would be the best guys.
There was a giggle last night in the WhatsApp too, wasn't
yeah. So those guys for that type of show, like that's what I mean. Like as important as Simi and Scope are right now, if we had those two guys here as well, and then they can make their own content, they become just as relevant. You know what I mean? Because all our content's based around those two boys right now, but we're going to scale it out. But yeah, right now we're a content house. We've got the setups for it. The green screen's going to be a fucking giggle. We've sort of, once you start doing stuff, ideas just start rolling, and like a fake fucking news show is probably the first thing that comes off my head. Yeah. And I'll host it, but I'll just drive it towards Simi and Scope, which is their strengths, and they just sort of do their thing, and we can have a lot of fucking
Scope with a random pack.
And no one's doing it. I don't know anyone that's doing it here. Like the green screen with the fuck around style interviews. It's gonna be a fucking giggle. So and like we said, it goes back to structure. Like, here's the idea, let's pull it back. Like, how do we make this fucking nice and tidy so it works and builds into everything that we do here?
There's got to be a business model behind everything, including our next hire. So I know we talk about all the time, everyone says pay Simi. From a business perspective, what does the next hire look like? Obviously, we've had Caleb the intern. Sorry, bro. We've had Caleb.
That's his name.
Caleb the intern in here.
You don't pick your names around here. You just get him.
What does the next hire look like, and why would you sort of go towards that?
Obviously, Simi's right there, and like everyone's like, oh, and like sometimes great content doesn't always convert into great business, which sounds weird. Where he runs like quite a raunchy style podcast, and I thought it'd be so easy to advertise it because the views and stuff there, but it's actually a lot harder. So if you look at my podcast, very wholesome, like, hey guys, I'm talking about motivation and shit like that. And then I can get like office work, so I'm getting like Mitsubishi and Dice. You can get anyone because it's wholesome. Where Simi's like talking about like rooting and sort of stuff like that. So even like views wise, he's probably getting more than mine or Simi or Scopes as well. But it's just,
I think last month he was right up there. Yeah,
fucking oath.
Oh,
and
easy.
It's huge. It's huge for the guy who's just starting out. So that's what I mean. Like but we just got to find a way to monetize them. Once we monetize Simi from a business standpoint, he comes on the payroll straight away. Yeah. Or you can't just pay someone out of thin air. especially if he's not contributing to the actual business side, the actual, you know, the iceberg analogy where like you only see 20% of it, where the 80% submerged below. Like the 80% is where we make the money.
He contributes to a lot to the culture around here.
Culture, yeah. Like culture, like wise, great. Content, he's fucking elite. Like his stuff's really, really good. It's just that next little phase. It's like, all right, cool. And like this week is a really big, important week for him. Like the Glizzy merch. If he monetizes off the merch off the back of that, it becomes a serious conversation over the next couple of weeks.
Who do you reckon wins the merch race? Call it right now, bro.
I think Simi wins because he's fucking oath, because he's putting way more effort in. Like Scope's lazy.
I reckon Scope's going to coast off
reputation.
I think he's going to pip him just off reputation.
Nah. I think
You're
the
gonna go
Glizzy
Glizzy?
design's better.
It'd be interesting to see what the breakdown. So like when Scope first come in, like he thought he was bringing a whole bunch of new customers in, but once I measured his merch sales compared to YKTR data, he'd only brought in like 8 new customers, which is like, and I thought it was going to be a whole new bunch. So what sort of happened now is like there's YKTR, the like subcategory umbrella, and it all just kind of splits off into people who want to support different things, and that's like our content. Like, oh, I shut the fuck up, I want to see more Simi content. Like, you know what I mean? But they're still the guys that support YKTR as a whole. Yeah. So I was breaking off like that. So it'd be interesting. I always love the narrative, the Scope versus Simi narrative. It's fun to watch. It's fun to make content in and around.
It all came from that stupid race as well.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
Fun as fun.
Organic. That's the best type of content. Organic.
But I think with Simi, he's a little bit more motivated. Like Scope's here. He's on the payroll now. He's trying to dodge fucking blog duties already. You know what I mean? So
which is annoying because he writes so fucking well.
Yeah. But that's just Scope, man. He's just like that.
Well, if not Simi, then who, bro? In terms of the next hire.
Oh, Caleb's right up there. We got an intern.
You know what I was saying? Sorry, I was saying to Lukey. I only just found out this morning he was 17.
Yeah, bro. That's what excites me about it. That's what I said to. I messaged him after work.
I couldn't talk like that when I was 17. Like I know he's shy and he's a bit nervous and that, but he's articulate as fuck. He's smart. He's onto it and he's driven. I was like, what the fuck was I doing at 17, man?
Yeah.
No, he's good. I remember a few months back. I was like, oh, we should get this like little kid that's floating about on Instagram to try and do one of our shoots. Remember, I flicked you his. I'm like, he put a deck together and sent it to me, and I'm like, oh,
did he?
Remember, yeah. Remember,
so Caleb put a deck together and sent that to you.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
the conversation sounds fuck. That just makes him even like more impressive to me. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I've been talking because he was going to buy my camera ages ago. That's how I linked up with him, and then we've just been like DMing back and forth, and he's been like making cool content, and like he didn't even know what like aperture or anything was. Probably started COVID when he got his camera gear and stuff like that.
He's nice now,
and he's just he's grouse. He knows how to edit. He's like exactly what we like, that entrepreneurial, teach yourself, YouTube university style
he's
content.
Very similar to us in the way that like when he shoots as well, he's sort of firing from the hip, or at least it feels like that, but there's a narrative in his head of how he wants it to look. Yeah, and you can tell because when he starts to edit, he doesn't just dump everything in and start chopping. He's got like a little sequence in his head. Yeah, that makes sense. So I know like when like that's how I work, that's how you work as well. It's like even when we're shooting and it looks like we're just sort of getting shit on the fly, in our brains there's a method to it, and he's exactly the same. You have to, or else you're just fucking chopping up for the sake of chopping up. Which is why it's sometimes hard to chop other people's, like rough chopping. Like if you said, hey, can you rough chop this vlog? Easy. Yeah. But if someone's like, here's everything I've shot, can you put together a mad piece of content? It's like, well, fuck, I don't understand the flow of it. I don't understand what you were trying to capture. That shit's hard. But how long's he here for? So I've had the conversation with him. I was like, bro, I want you here 2 days a week for 6 weeks. 6 weeks? That's cool. How long I've never had an intern before. Is that normal? It's normally like it's like seasonal. So that's pretty much on the money. Like come in, just contribute here and there. I interned at Auckland Rugby for 6 weeks, exactly. Oh, cool. So I just made that number up. I was like, this is a nice round. That's good. I actually don't know what I'm doing here. But like he's been here for 2 days. Like those bacon and egg roll type reviews. He's chopping them up the same day, which is fucking refreshing. I know you guys can do that as well, but it's like someone else, like you guys got so much shit on you. It's just refreshing to have one guy just go, hey bro, can you go film Scope do this, and then film me do this, and then it doesn't take away from the shit that you guys need to do as well. So that's what we were saying yesterday. It's like before it was like if I was out there filming a bacon and egg review, it's like, okay, there's no design, Instagram content's on hold, everything like that. So now it's good to have those little things in place. I was saying that when he left yesterday to do the bacon egg roll reviews, and I was tidying up all of this and writing up Scopes Mag, and Lukey was doing the designs, I was like, fuck, if it was just you two, like back in the day, none of those other 3 things would be getting done because Luke would have to just be doing design, and then after that he could go do the bacon egg roll review, and then after that he could come here and tidy this up, but then after that he'd have to edit the review. Oh, well then no one's done the blog content, you know what I mean?
And like even earlier on, like the boys used to come in like, oh, let's go for a like coffee and feed, and like, yeah, cool, and then like they'll just sit around here for like 3-4 hours, and they'll go home. All right, bro, I'm gonna cruise at like 4:30, and then all that work that I'd missed out on those fucking 4-5 hours, like I'd have to stay back and finish that all off. You know what I mean? So obviously learning to say no is important, but then scaling out and having the right people in place are important. So it's going to be like, I'm not opposed to bringing someone on a lot quicker, but it's going to be fucking funny. I was thinking of this last night. If we hired him before Simi, just how much you'd burn him.
Content.
I don't think I could do it, but fucking be funny.
I reckon Simi wouldn't get the popper out for it.
No.
It'd be funny as well to hand some a popper and say, bro, like when Caleb comes through, can you hit this?
We should have saved that just for content.
Yeah, we can beep it out.
It's
hot under the lights, by the way.
Nah, it's like I said, bro. That type of guy who's like Caleb and who can take photos, edit, and shoot is probably the most important thing we need right now. And then after that, it's probably the same. It's him times 2, like a Bocco, like someone else like that.
Yeah, well, that was the OG crew, and then Bocco couldn't get out of the NRL. Remember when we first got all linked up, we had Bocco in the group chat as well.
Yeah.
But I was sort of asking like, fuck, what's Bocco on at Para? Like, who knows? So he'd be the next guy because he's quick, bro. He is like quick.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you said, hey, bro, can you do this? Bam, it's fucking on my desk.
Yeah.
I was saying to Ice, it's like it depends on what he wants to do, career longevity wise, like with regards to which direction he goes. But fuck, he'd be elite.
I said that to I texted Caleb last night. Like, bro, keep working hard, bro. Good things happen when you work hard. He's like, bro, I'm so pumped, keen to learn. I was like, bro, you're in the right place because
especially at 17.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said, bro. Imagine you're at 20, bro. You'd be fucking doing whatever you want. And if we do part-time hire him, fuck, I can teach him how to run a business pretty quickly. And he's probably going to get the opportunities. It's not hard for me to go, hey guys, this is Caleb, he's intern for YKTR. He makes all our vlogs. He's available on Monday and Friday. Like, who wants to fucking hire him?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? There's enough small businesses that need content where he could probably pick up some fucking fringe cash pretty easy.
I'd want him coming out doing vintage vlogs as well. Like, that's straight away. As soon as he came in with his camera, I was like, fuck, he can do that. Like,
yeah. And do you know what the underlying, like, I know you guys are paid to be here and work and stuff like that. You get this fucking Karate Kid style fucking business education without even knowing it. Like, everything happens you guys know it, but then wait till you guys jump on a podcast and people ask you questions. That's like the first time I've done my first ever consulting session. I was like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to say. But once I ask the questions, but you know all the answers. And it's very much like that wax on, wax off style shit. And that's the underestimated thing about being at YKTR, because so many things happen and I'm so fucking transparent with everything that you get this fucking business education as well.
Don't realise you're learning, eh, Lukey?
Always learning.
Like a sponge, baby. You touched on the food reviews just then. We'll just quickly touch on, like we mentioned, I think you guys mentioned last time in Inside that we want to move towards food content, and like I said, a lot can happen in a week here, and now we're into it.
Yeah.
We've got one already obviously in the pipeline with the B&E reviews.
You're right.
No, I was just seeing
how pretty you
I'm getting that anxiety that it wasn't on, but it's on.
Oh, yeah. Bacon and egg roll reviews, which make sure, again, comment on this or send us if you've got a mad reviewer in your local area that you want Scope and Simi to hit, or just Scope, or Lukey and Scope, or whoever's available that wants to go hit it. But you're going to be doing something as well, food-wise? We love it, eh? Like,
I love food content. So I watch the Bentley boys. They started vlogging the same time I started vlogging, and I got into Kai and I'm into Levi. Not so much Jet at the moment, but Anthony Bourdain, I've just always enjoyed watching food content.
Action Bronson as well. OG.
And Action Bronson, Fuck That's Delicious is one of my favourite shows ever. So I want to build those types of shows, and obviously we always start in-house and we can scale that out. Initially I wanted Chico to do it because he's into food.
He still might, you know.
Yeah, I gave him like laptop camera. I was like, hey bro, let's. But I think he's more inclined to do cooking shows, which is like cool. But like I eat out every night, so I want to know where to go. And whenever I used to do like those LA style vlogs, and I used to go to those types of places, like people go to those places because I've been there. That follow YKTR, that in LA. So I've always, like, I don't know. It's just, one, is fucking easy. Two, it's interesting. People eat every day, and people want to know good spots to eat. So yeah, we've got the bacon and egg rolls, very much mirrored off the back of the pizza reviews from Barstool Sports.
I love the people commenting like, "Oh my god, you guys are copying Barstool." Like,
yeah, that's why
in the caption.
My first caption, I go, make sure it says not the fake Barstool Sports, because it's important to
obviously.
And like we say this, like, we're copying Barstool, we're copying Complex, we're just taking the parts that we like and making it.
We do
putting
our
flavor on
shit,
it.
Yeah, and bacon and egg roll is so fucking Australian. It's not even funny. and very like tradey like. But the next show we're going to do, I'll start off shooting it, but ideally like to get someone in to take over it. It's called like What Are You Known For? So we're going to go to cafes and restaurants, and I'm going to be mic'd up like this with a lav mic on, and basically just going to ask the question like, what are you guys known for? And then they're going to give me one dish, and we're going to rate it as well. So that's going to be a sort of singular show / I'm going to get guests on as well. And that's an easy way. We could go to Parramatta and hang out with King Guffo and like, we're in Parramatta, but what are you known for?
Franco's Bella Vista.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we touched on at the top, wanting to bring more of sort of the footy and the sports side into it, and we can do that through food content. We can do it through any sort of content.
Agree.
Because, like
You can interview someone and eat at the same
You
time.
can interview, like I always, like in my head when we first started YKTR Sports, the second time I came over, and we were sort of storyboarding what the content looked like, and you were talking about Chico then. In my head, I had Chico going to a cafe with fucking Paul Vaughan and sitting down and having an omelette, and like that was his way of interviewing him. Like Brendan Schaub's sort of food truck diaries.
Well, look at the goat Jerry Seinfeld, cars and coffee. He's had a coffee. He's like, oh, you could probably make a show out of just going to a coffee shop and interviewing.
It's a real simple like media model where like you can if you interview someone while you're doing something, it hits different than if like.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's like a subconscious thing. Like if you see people driving, having coffee and talking, it hits more than if you see them sitting across a table like this talking. And I'm not too sure why. Maybe it's just more going on in the shop.
Get some Uber Eats in here for this.
Yeah, but that's like another show that Simi could do. So instead of him like just interviewing chicks one-on-one like, over a podcast, like he goes on a date. He could do it, but he could also do like a mukbang style, and then we could get that sponsored by Uber Eats. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'd love to watch a Simi mukbang actually.
Yeah, that'd be fucking funny. So
putting that on the to-do list.
Yeah, maybe we do that.
And now we've got this table. It's like perfect for it.
Put a little
greasy fingers everywhere.
Yeah.
Get the old tablecloth out.
Yeah. But yeah, like food content's just so easy. So we've got 4 bacon and egg rolls backed up, and whenever we got a quiet content day and someone pulls out on the podcast, it's like, oh shit, let's just put this up instead. So there's going to be a lot more bacon and egg rolls. And I said this to Simi and Scar. I was like, this mate, Dave Portnoy's more known for pizza reviews than he is for running. A fucking legend.
Yeah.
Basketball sports.
Yeah.
So I go, bro, this probably could make you more famous than all of it. And once you say that to the boys, their ears prick up.
It's funny, and as well, like, not everyone's watched the pizza review as well. So people are looking at the reviews like,
what is this?
2 minutes review sort of thing. But like I said before, people that don't know the story and do know the story of what we're trying to do. So we're not afraid. I think we mentioned basketball on every podcast.
It's interesting with the rating system that they're going. I think they're going like
too high.
Yeah, I agree. I know
you gave IKEA the fucking, what did you get, the 6.3 or something.
It's like you don't want to shit on a small business because they're all trying to make it. You never know that they've had a bad day, but then they've also got to realise, you guys might do 100 reviews.
He's given the first one a 9, Simi.
And was that Sonoma?
Yeah.
See, no, that ain't a 9 bacon and egg roll. Like,
I said that when we had it for breakfast the other day. I was
Sonoma,
like,
I'm sorry.
Because even though it looks...
These uneducated pellets don't know what they're talking about.
Nah, that ain't it. I'm with Lukey. But like that's the thing. Like the content was so good, and even though what I was trying to do, I was like, fuck that Sonoma roll must be good. And I went in and had it yesterday. And I was eating it, and the lady was like, is it good? Is it good? I was like... Yeah, it's all right, man. And Simi's there going,
I have one. Are we done almost? No. One last. What do we got?
No, yeah, that's right. Carry on.
One last little thing to add on that we've been talking about, and I'm accountable for this as well.
Yeah.
Our posts on Facebook.
Why isn't it in the workflow, man?
Get it in our workflow.
I know. Yeah, look, that's kind of a giant, like, we are so big on our Instagram account. We're so big on YouTube. We nail our podcast content. We're getting into the written stuff. And it was literally on the top of my to-do list when I first landed here at YKTR Sports, work Facebook into the workflow, and I haven't. So we'll make a conscious effort to weave that into the workflow more, because it actually, like the limited stuff that we did last week.
Sorry to cut you off, but this is gonna change. So what we're actually gonna do, we're actually gonna use Facebook as a top of funnel marketing, because we're selling out and stuff. We're not not spending any money on marketing. So what we should be doing with that marketing money is actually spending it on branding. So what we need to be doing, and I wrote this, remember last week, top of funnel? Okay. Yes. Remind me about this, and I fucking forgot about it.
I did remind you.
Oh, I forgot about it, sorry. So what we should be doing is making really cool top of funnel content and then putting it in Melbourne and Brisbane and then driving them towards the YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? That's the next mark. That's super strategic, and this is what we're going to do. But even vlogs and that are cool, but it should just be like a preview that drives people towards the YouTube.
Yeah, I was looking at Barcel again. Shout out to Barcel if you're listening. They don't get the huge engagement, but they'll get like a couple of like the popping memes and stuff will pop on Facebook. And
you only get 1% of your organic reach off the back of your flow, because it's pay to play.
Yeah, and we're not playing.
Yeah.
So we don't even have anything at the moment. So,
but we got a great opportunity to brand. Like we should just be branding.
Yeah. So that's on both of our to-do lists. I need to upload some of the video content. I put the pizza review out not the pizza.
Well, how do you structure it better? Like I think it should be like a dump upload in half an hour block. You know what I mean? All right, this is what we've done today. All right, my last part of my day before I fuck off home is like, sweet, let's go.
We can also schedule it. So it's like, we could dump everything in and schedule it for the evening.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Because I don't think Facebook's like Instagram where... Like,
I don't use it.
Yeah, but people do. Like
a lot of people do.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Half the world's on Facebook. So that's we're only talking to a certain part of the room.
Yeah.
So maybe do you know what we should do, bro? Maybe I just thought of it now. Maybe we clip up the best of the week into micro content and say that's like a 2-minute segment. And then we put that on Facebook and put a fuckload of ad spend behind it.
Yeah, smart.
Hey, business. That's it.
Clip it. You mentioned then putting it on the to-do list. Get it. Like some of these blogs are unreal, but it takes...
How long does it take to put one of those blogs together? Like an hour?
Nah.
Shorter?
20 minutes.
One IG Live
One
pretty
IG
much.
Live does it. So like Simi just needs to be flowing and just talking shit to me and I get the basis of it and then I build it out. So Simi's not writing those blogs, but I promise you it's all his fucking words. Because it's
I don't think
that wasn't your sex position?
No, sure, yeah. I'm not a big butter churn guy.
Dislocated shoulder of doom.
He's like, bro, you know me, I've got footy injuries.
Yeah.
Let's just finish off here. We want to talk about the She Knows merch because obviously we posted it the last couple of days and it's hitting. Order's been placed. We've sort of been dabbling, or you guys have been talking about getting into the female market for a while now and sort of first proper steps in that direction.
Important.
It's not just girls wearing the small men stuff.
But yeah, like when I think about it, I want to build it more off the back of just merch itself. I kind of want to build it to its own entity and to what we do here at YKTR.
Sorry, not merch,
Yeah. Oh, no, I've read down merch here anyway. But to build it off the back of this, like I want like podcast shows and vlogs to be like more so like pro woman, but not so much about equality. It's like, fuck, they're the best at what they do. So Jade Spoon is an example of this. Like she could be like even though she's a lot more successful than me, she could be the business version of me that interviews. Like, because there's probably plenty of girls that only want to listen to girls talk about because they go through different experiences. That side there, Jade LaFlay's a friend of mine. Why is she going to be the best music person as well? So, it's almost like here's YKTR, here's the business model. Oh, those girls who's the girls that do the Chicks and Balls podcast? How to be a good bitch. Like, there's plenty of great content creators out there that probably don't have the hub for it right now. And it's not so much like anti-men, like pro-woman style thing. It's like, they're just the best at what they do in this sort of space. So maybe do we give them the environment to do it, and then we build the merch plan off the back of that.
She knows, baby.
And She Knows. And I want She Knows to be sort of like, she knows like music, or she knows business, or she knows health, or she knows self-worth. So when I come up with the She Knows, obviously it rolls off the back of the rules.
As everything.
It does. But that's going to be kind of the core concept behind it. It's not just going to, fuck, these YKTR boys trying to make money off like girls merch now. And we'll never be like trying to make dresses and shit. Yeah. That's just not us. But
can you design us a couple of skirts?
Yeah, a bit of Harry Styles, how he's rocking the dresses and whatnot.
Simi would fucking wear it as well.
But it's more so the fact that like I feel like we've got a platform now and we've seen it work, that why can't we just provide opportunities for other people in that female space? And I want to get a creative lead for it as well. It's not going to be me designing shit all the time.
I don't know if you've noticed it, but like whenever I'm doing scheduling the weekend user generated posts, I would say 50% of them are chicks.
Yeah.
Like not even lying.
Do you know
it'd be dumb business as a business person to ignore that, but I think like for me that's the way I think. I think content first. I think how can we help? It's
also timing. You've known that it was a dumb demographic to neglect for a long time, but like you had to have the right, like you said, business model, the right product, and the right
resource.
I think knowledge is important.
Yeah, you can't just start making girls clothes because you want to sell to girls.
Bro, Tech Project hurt me, Like financially, it almost fucked us, bro. Like as much as I miss it and I thought it was super vibey as fuck, but bro, it almost fucking sunk us.
I remember the tech, baby.
Yeah. That was an important part to us to get to where we are now. So
when the Batuta boys were in here, and I know you've spoken about it. It's my wife's favorite podcast, The Shameless Girls. Yeah. Speaking about like more sort of She Knows girls and their content space that are killing it. They are. You should listen to it, bro. They're so fucking good at what they do. That it's like it's not podcasty like this. It's not super conversational. It's like a scripted show.
Yeah, because their slogan is smart girls talking about dumb shit.
Yeah, and it's fucking hits, bro. It's such good content.
And that's what I mean when we talked about earlier. I was like, but who wants to learn about business? Not everyone, but everyone wants to feel good. Everyone wants to laugh. Yeah. That's why entertainment.
So they got two really intelligent girls talking about like fucking love it, like
Kim
Love Island
Kardashian.
or Kim Kardashian or The Bachelor, like dumb shit that.
There's a couple girls listening to us right now that live YKTR that'll be perfect on fucking the same platform. But all they need is just fucking a few shining lights, a camera, and a bit of direction. And
Hopefully a bit of
that's,
aircon.
that's what that She Knows is going to be about. So
How far away are we in terms of actual?
we've booked that.
Close.
So obviously, closed, probably 8 weeks,
Yep.
10 weeks. So it's still a while off. Can't just pop them up overnight. But in terms of content, like Jay Spooner's there. I've got a friend called Sarah. She runs a brand called Staple and Hugh. She's from Auckland, but she's going to kind of be like the Emily Oberg to Kith. Like Emily Oberg come in and help Kith with their direction and design.
Complex, you mean? Or Kith? Oh, no, that's right.
She
was the
rolled
thing,
into Kith, and off the back of that, she moved into Sporty and Rich. So like her I've always like gone, fuck, that's a cool flow. And like I don't want to be designing chicks' clothes as well. So I've got to chat with her this weekend. She's got her own brand, but she's got a real tomboy style that I really, really like.
Yeah.
She's got great she's got great knowledge in fashion as well. So I think she's going to be perfect.
Long episode.
That's a very good episode. Inside YKTR. Stay tuned for outside because I'm sure the boys are going to have some things to say. So
Thanks for tuning in.